prominent WWE name has departed the company after 8 years. And we also have an update on Chad Gable, his status for Monday Night Raw after allegedly, reportedly, kayfabe, obviously, being shot in the head by the Wyatt Six. And we may be getting a new member to the Bloodline. All that much more coming up right here in this video. I'm Omer Q for Real Take Wrestling. Be sure to smash that like button, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you get notified whenever a new video is released. All right, let's begin with Chad Gable. Obviously, one of the biggest stories of this past week has been that of Chad Gable. What's going on with him? He, again, reportedly, whatever, we all saw it, right? He got shot in the head. There's really no way of covering that up. It was a part of this big Wyatt Six reveal that they did. It was one of the creepiest, most ominous, and awesome debuts we had ever seen, but it put into doubt the status of Chad Gable, and even had some fans speculating that maybe when he said that he signed an extension with WWE, it was some sort of temporary extension and that his contract is still going to elapse. Well, here's what we do know. According to Adam Pearce, who revealed this on Twitter, he said that Chad Gable is still going to be in the men's Money in the Bank qualifying match on Monday Night Raw. He will be competing for a spot, in a triple threat match on that show. And Gable even poked fun at it on Twitter. He literally posted a picture of a zombie climbing out of the grave. So Chad Gable poking fun at the situation. But again, one of the interesting things, and I think this is a fair criticism that many people have of these more supernatural gimmicks in pro wrestling, is like, how do you explain the unexplainable sometimes, right? Because they're probably going to say, like, he wasn't shot in the head. He was, like, bludgeoned or something, even though they went out of their way to really make it look like a gunshot wound in the head. But that's showbiz, pal. But one of the interesting things is, like, how do you explain away these kinds of things, right? How do you explain away these beings being, like, all supernatural and being able to take anyone out in like the snap of a finger? And the answer is it's complicated, and it's never as easy as, well, you'll just do X, Y, and Z, because these things kind of exist a little bit beyond regular normal wrestling kayfabe. And that's why it's important to protect these gimmicks, not overexpose them, not having them all the way in prominent spots all the time. And by prominent, I mean the world title spot. Like, The Undertaker did not need to be in the world title picture to be the guy. He was always the guy, and you knew it because he was unbeatable. When he chose to be, that was really cool, and there was always a workaround to try to get the belt off of him, and that made that cool. But, you can't be doing what they did with Bray Wyatt, basically, in 2019, 2020. Having Goldberg be the guy who beat him was absolutely horrible decision. I think many people still regret that decision to this day, as they should, because it just did not make any sense. So great stuff here, though. I mean, look, I was sports entertained for damn sure. As far as the Gable thing, we'll see how it plays out, but it looks like Gable is going to be on Raw in that men's Money in the Bank qualifying match, which, again, very interesting stuff. So let me know in the comment section what you think about that as we move on to our next topic. And this is one that I'm sure is going to get a lot of people talking, as we're going to get into some Bloodline stuff. So let's talk about potentially another Bloodline member joining the fray in the form of Zilla Fatu. So as we saw on WWE Friday Night SmackDown, Jacob Fatu made his debut in WWE, and not long after that, Zilla Fatu, who, by the way, is the son of Umaga, actually posted on his Instagram story, as you can see from this aggregation from WrestleOps, see you soon, kind of hinting towards maybe him joining the Bloodline in WWE. Now, of course, Zilla Fatu is fairly young. I believe he's around 20 years old. He is very green in the business. He's just getting his start over in Texas in reality of wrestling. That is Booker T's promotion that obviously has a bit of a pipeline into WWE. We've seen Roxanne Perez, of course, who used to be there, also go into the WWE later on. So it could happen. Don't get me wrong. I could very well see Zilla Fatu eventually joining the WWE. There is obviously a tie-in with his uncle Umaga, who is one of the best, honestly, big men in WWE history. Like, his run in 2006, 2007 is genuinely one of the most underappreciated runs of any wrestler ever. He was the perfect heel. He was the perfect big man, and he did the old like WWE like savage Samoan trope without necessarily being like this stupid wrestler. Like, because a lot of times when they would have people be as savages, like they would be dim-witted or whatever. That wasn't the case with Umaga. Umaga was there to win. Umaga was there to ensure that he inflicted as much pain as possible and put himself in the best position to win. There was a psychological aspect and a cerebral aspect to that character. And if, Zilla Fatu can come into WWE and do similar things, I think it could be great. I just don't know if he's ready yet for the WWE. And I'm not saying that he won't be. I'm not saying that he couldn't have a spot there or they couldn't find a spot for him there. But I worry that he's someone who probably could benefit from being on the indies for a little bit, from being, exposed to more wrestling outside of WWE first, and then finally getting his chance. Because the way also this Bloodline story seems to be going, like Triple H and company, this might be like, we might be a few years away from this ever ending. So he might have time to have a whole run on the indies, be a very successful wrestler, and then come around to WWE and help finish it off. And look, he's always going to be there. I think there's a chance to always bring him in. And as we've seen over the last few weeks, never say never to more people joining the Bloodline. I think, we obviously know that Hikuleo is going to be coming in at some point very soon. We saw Jacob Fatu, who, again, if you go back and watch my video from yesterday, you will hear my one concern with Jacob Fatu coming in was, is he going to be able to play second fiddle to Solo Sikoa? Because he is the best promo in that group, and it ain't even close. Like, Jacob Fatu is the best wrestler in that group, in my opinion. Best promo, best, like, most charismatic, best, like he's just the best. And if you have him come in and play second fiddle, I think you're kind of doing him a disservice. But at the same time, you're trying to build up Solo Sikoa to be this monster, to be the new leader of the Bloodline. You're kind of putting everyone in a very weird position. So we'll see how they play it out. I personally would love to see them turn on Solo, join allegiances with The Rock, have Jacob become like, the leader in waiting for whenever The Rock isn't there, and he can carry it. As we've seen in MLW, man, he's going to dog walk him. But we'll see what happens there. But Zilla Fatu might be coming to WWE in a town near you. As we move on to our next and final story of the day, Kayla Braxton is no longer going to be with WWE. She announced this on Twitter today that she's departing from the company. Here is what she said on Twitter earlier today in a statement. Says, quote, "After nearly 8 years holding the microphone on WWE television, I am setting it down to pursue my next chapter. Next week at the world's most famous arena, I will be officially signing off. During my years with WWE, I was able to master the art of the backstage interview, and I hope I was able to turn minutes into moments for you who watched week to week, and maybe even usher in a new fan base. My banter with Paul Heyman became stuff of legend, and I am so thankful for all he has done to elevate my career. I gained a wealth of knowledge from the wise man, and for that, I am eternally grateful. In 2016, the legendary Michael Cole brought me in to begin my WWE career as a ring announcer with NXT, but I quickly found myself touring the globe, hosting all Hall of Fame ceremonies, kickoff shows, and helping launch WWE's first weekly morning show, The Bump. I exited The Bump after more than 200 episodes in a move and a move to Los Angeles. Now on the West Coast, I have been offered new opportunities that I will further utilize the skills I have gained working for the largest sports entertainment company in the world. I am extremely, grateful to I'm extremely thankful to Triple H, Nick Khan, WWE, and all of the partners for allowing me to be a trusted voice on WWE television for all these years. Thank you to every single person who made me feel like I was home, like this was my home, and that I was a part of this family. Thank you for taking a chance on me and welcoming this outsider with open arms. I hope I made you proud, and I'd love it if you stay with me for this next chapter. I'm excited to reveal to all of you what I have coming up next. That was, of course, Kayla Braxton, longtime WWE backstage interviewer, ring announcer, basically done everything there is to do in WWE from an announcing standpoint, and one of the best, honestly, to ever do it. She has made herself, over the last 8 years, a jack of all trades and one of the most flexible and versatile voices in all of WWE. Like she said in her very lengthy statement that I got through, she has hosted podcasts. She has hosted the morning show, The Bump. She's hosted, ring announcing duties. She's done announcing. Like, she's done it all. And I think over time, she became, honestly, like, of all the backstage interviewers, the most trusted voice. And when she was doing like the Smack, it wasn't called Talking Smack, but the SmackDown post show with Paul Heyman, especially during the pandemic, those sometimes were some of the best things that WWE were producing during the pandemic content-wise, and their banter was stuff of legend. And honestly, like, that is a voice that WWE is going to miss. And I know they've brought in a few different voices. They've brought in more ring announcers, more backstage interviewers to kind of help fill that void. And it seems like Kayla is going to be doing other stuff outside of professional wrestling. If you kind of read between the lines there's opportunities in LA. As far as AEW goes, I believe there was a Fightful Select report that said that, they kind of, AEW knows that she's a free agent or going to be a free agent, but there have not been discussions with her agent. So TBD on if she goes to another wrestling company. I could very well see her, coming back and maybe doing some special stuff, like maybe an anniversary show for WWE or something like that. But as far as, her being a talent in wrestling, I think those full-time days may be done for now. I could very well see her doing something like going to ESPN, becoming an announcer there. I know they have an opening on SportsCenter, so maybe, just maybe, she could be on that show. But she's someone who, if she puts her mind to it, she can accomplish anything. She's very talented, and she's got charisma. And that's all really it takes in this business to succeed. So shout out to her. Shout out to everything that she has done, all the moments she's made. Again, telling you, 2020 WWE was god-awful, but those SmackDown post shows were stuff of legend. Awesome stuff. So thank you, Kayla Braxton, and thank you guys for watching. Let me know in the comment section what you thought of this news video. A little bit of a different setup because, well, things happen, but I try to bring you guys the news every single day. Let me know in the comment section what you guys thought of this. What do you want to hear me talk about in the future? Be sure to also smash that like button, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you get notified whenever a new video is released.